All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Thanks everyone for joining us today for this softball press conference. Alabama softball opened its spring practice schedule this week and will open its season 3 weeks from tomorrow at the Candrea Classic in Tucson, Arizona. We're joined today by head coach Patrick Murphy in his 26th season overall with Alabama, 24th as its head coach, along with senior pitcher Montana Fouts, the defending NFCA National Pitcher of the Year, and senior infielder Ashley Prange, a transfer from Ohio State, where she was a 3-year starter with the Buckeyes and all Big Ten honoree. We will open it up for questions after a opening statement from Coach Murphy. If you have questions in the room, just raise your hand. We'll get you a microphone. For those in the Zoom, just hit the raise hand icon, and we will get to you for the questions. But we'll go ahead and start with the opening statement from Coach Murphy.
Thanks, Nate. It's great to be back. I really appreciate all 70 people here, and then whoever's on the Zoom, thank you very much for joining us. But, you know, it is year 24 as the head coach at Alabama, and I'm just as excited this year as I've ever been. You know, it's like day one. This team has gelled, bonded. The chemistry is just terrific. I don't know how they did it. We added 9 new kids to 12 returnees, and it's just been so much fun to coach. They worked really, really hard. Our strength coach, Michelle Diltz, has given them props every single time I've talked to her. You know, knock on wood, it's just been a pleasure to coach this group, and everybody involved with the staff, the team, is looking forward to Team 26.
All right, we'll go to open up for questions, and we can start with Robert.
Murphy kind of just touched on it, but can you talk about the freshman class as a whole and what kind of each of them brings to the table?
Well, you know, we ask all our kids to be themselves as quick as possible, you know, because we only get 4 years with them. You know, Ashley, we're only going to get 2. So I want them to bring their true personality immediately because I want to get to know them as a person first. And this class, above and beyond any other team that or any other class we've had as freshmen especially, they've just, I guess, blossomed is a good word. They're a lot of fun to be around. They're very, very athletic. I think 4 of the 6 were their player of the year in their respective states. Just very talented. I think that was the one thing that everybody said after fall ball was like, wow, you got a bunch of really good athletes. You know, they can run, they can throw, they can hit. It's just been a fun group to coach. Different personalities, like way different. From quiet to boisterous to class clown to, you know, just all in between. So they're keeping everybody on their toes for sure.
All right, Katie.
I'm assuming we're probably going to talk to you again before the season starts, but I don't know. This may be the last time. So
Better not be.
For Murph, just y'all, you know, kind of started at some of these big tournaments before. Why do you like to start out at a place like Arizona in a field like that?
Well, Stacy Iveson, who's their director of ops, she texted me last spring, and you know, we were kind of undecided on that first weekend, and we thought we had something in place, and then she texted me and said, "Hey, the Mike Candrea Invitational," and I was like, I gotta go, because you know he's the GOAT of college softball, legend at Arizona, legend in the game, and for us to be able to play in the very first Candrea invite, we had to do it. Just, you know, they have great fans there. It's a great facility, usually really good weather for opening weekend, and that's the key. You know, try to find some place where it's decent weather and you're going to get to play. So as it turned out, we get to play Arizona, Oregon State, 2 Pac-12s, New Mexico, and then Southern Utah. So it'll be 1 game Friday, 2 Saturday, 1 game Sunday, and then we get to come home. So. And then Arizona's new coach has been a friend of ours for years. Caitlin Lowe was on the Olympic team, you know, one of the greatest players ever in college softball, and we just love her to death. And it's going to be fun to, you know, get to see her in her very first game as the head coach at Arizona.
All right, we go to Max.
This question is for Montana. Montana, how has your life changed since playing UCLA in the College World Series, since the perfect game? Have you had to manage your life differently? Have you had to change anything different? What's been going on?
I would say things have definitely turned for the better, just because I feel like that point in the season and even right before the season, I fell in love with the game all over again. So above all things, I just realized how much I love it and how much I love being with my teammates, and realizing that's the most important thing out of everything is just the love we have for each other and playing the game and being on the field. And I would just say I have more respect, and I love it way more than I ever have.
Okay, we'll go back to Robert.
Ashley, can you talk about your experience at Alabama so far, and how has it lived up to your expectations?
It's definitely lived up and exceeded my expectations. This has been an experience beyond anything I could have ever dreamed of. And kind of piggybacking off of what Montana was saying, feeling like you're known and valued for who you are on and off the field, and not just for what you bring onto the field, has been like the greatest experience of my life, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. These girls are nothing short of amazing, the best coaching staff I could ask for, and I'm just super thankful to be here.
All right, go back to Katie.
A question for each girl, but I'll start out with Ashley, kind of piggybacking off that. Since it's the first time we've gotten to talk to you in this setting, kind of what all went into your decision to come to Alabama? Like, how did you end up here?
Yeah, I decided to enter the portal after this last season, and then I honestly can say that I kind of was like, this is in God's hands. Like, I really didn't have anything set in stone, hadn't really been talking to anybody because that's not allowed before you're actually into the portal. And so I remember getting a call from my old travel coach, and he was like, hey, you're never going to guess who I just talked to. And I was like, hit me with it. And he said, Coach Murph. And I kind of was in shock. And then he had emailed me the next morning. And we kind of talked on the phone a couple times after that. And then I flew down here and committed that night, almost instantly. So yeah, that was kind of my journey.
And then for Montana, starting out in Arizona this year, does that kind of feel full circle for you that your freshman year in 2019? I know that wasn't your first game, but it's kind of where you made your big debut, and kind of what do you remember about that first trip out to Arizona?
I remember just about every game that we've played here just because they're all so great, and I'm just really thankful because I remember loving playing out there. They have great fans. We travel well. We have the best fans in the country, and they always go out to support us. And like Murph said, Kendra is the GOAT of almost everything, so just being able to honor him in that way and going out there, and we're just great. I remember we won a game against Arizona, and Murph took us to Cheesecake Factory. So we're hoping to keep that tradition going.
All right, we got one on the Zoom. JR, go ahead, unmute yourself and ask away.
Yeah, Montana, go through the process of what it's like working with a new catcher, building that trust, building that relationship. What's that like?
I will say Allie makes it really great and really easy to get along with. She came in and immediately it was like I've known her for years. And also having a full catching staff pretty much, and they're just so great and they work together all the time. And the moment all of them stepped on campus in August, they've been working together to get each other better. So everybody looks at them as a unit too. But Allie being new, she's just great making friendships with, and that makes it better on the field too.
All right, we got another one in the Zoom from Aiden.
My question's for Coach Murphy. Coach, thank you for your time. You had Alexis Mack, Alyssa Brown, and Bailey Hemphill all graduate after last season. They were obviously a substantial of the offensive production for the team. What are your plans going into the season to fill that void offensively?
Yeah, you're right. All three of them. I was looking at our stats from last year, and I think Bailey was like 414 or something, and then the other two were like 390, 388. So for all three of them to graduate at the same time, obviously it's a big hole to fill offensively. But one thing I've really seen this year is just variety of players. We've got some quick kids. We've got probably 5 green light girls. And that means at any time, if they're at first base and they want to go, they can steal. And there's a couple more that are, right now, they're about yellow lights, close to being green. On a good day, they could be, so we could have 7. And then the other thing that's really impressed me is consistency of the barrel around every offensive player. We have 16 hitters, and that's been one of the goals from day one, is just consistently find the barrel. And, practice on Tuesday, I wish you guys could come out and watch practice and just listen to the ball off the bat, because it's a really, really cool sound. But we have, I think, 7 girls. I looked at the roster, and 7 led off. Did you ever lead off?
I don't think so.
Okay, so 7 for sure, either high school or summer ball. And shoot, Kaylee Tao was the leadoff for her high school and summer ball team for her whole career. And she's not your typical leadoff, but she's done it before. and we're going to find somebody that, can really, really fill that spot for us. And then after that, I mean, the toughest thing for the coaching staff to do this year is going to be writing a lineup, honestly, because out of those 16 hitters, all 16 could start somewhere else for sure. Just the competition has been really, really good in practice.
All right, we'll go back to the room here with Robert.
I have a two-part question for Montana. So first off, congratulations on being named to the national team. Does that give you an extra boost of confidence heading into the season? And then secondly, your pitching staff is seen as arguably the best in the nation. Can you talk about the chemistry you guys have and how you guys work together?
I'm super grateful to be part of the national team. It's been a goal of mine since I was ever started playing. I would say confidence-wise, I was really blessed to be able to pitch live to them a couple weeks ago. So I would say that's probably maybe one of the best things, because I usually don't get that right before season because we're about to go face great hitters every weekend. So I would say that's a plus. But I'm just super grateful to represent the country and also a great university like this on that kind of level too. And for the second question, our pitching staff, I feel like every time we get together, we're having fun in the bullpen, we're picking ideas off each other, and Coach Steph has been great every single time that we've had a lesson here, and I've been here since my freshman year. You're feeling like you're learning something, you're valued, and I think you can grow in that environment. So I feel like since day one, we've all just kind of meshed together as a pitching staff.
All right, we'll go back to the Zoom with Eric Lopez.
Yeah, question for Coach in Montana. Coach, your reaction to Montana making the U.S. national team and being able to play with Haley McClenny and Monica Abbott in Birmingham, and Montana after Coach responds, your reaction to being going to be teammates with Monica and Haley?
It was awesome. And Bailey Hempill got invited for a tryout. Really proud of her. And obviously Haley, after the Olympics, I think you would agree with me, I hope, and everybody in this room would agree that Haley's probably the best player in the world right now in softball. She proved in the Olympics hitting over 500 and just an incredible defensive outfielder. But the coolest part is Montana gets to join that group. And, I had several young ladies that made the team texted me and said the same thing, including Allie Carta, former UCLA great, and won a silver medal this past summer. And the cool thing that stood out to me was she said, yeah, she's a great player and everything, but wow, what a really, really good person. And I'm looking forward to getting to know her as a teammate. So we're proud of them. And then the other thing, I'm glad you brought it up, and Robert too, is, the World Games, they're 45 minutes away this summer in Birmingham, Alabama, and they're going to be played at the Hoover Met. And, Team USA is going to be 45 minutes away for a week, and they're going to be playing for a gold medal. And, we have the best fans in college softball, but I hope that, that place seats, I think 11,000, 12,000. And it would be really, really cool if we could get, 10,000 people in there screaming USA, USA, and having Montana and Haley on that team just is a big added bonus.
All I can say is really it's just an honor to be on the same team and have my name on the same list as them and everybody else that's on the team. Obviously, Haley's an alum, and she's been around for a long time, so just being able to hear about her GOAT stories and her greatness, and it's still all around the softball field and all around the university, and also Monica being somebody that I've looked up to. I'm really grateful to have the opportunity to learn from her and the rest of the pitching staff. And like he said, Allie Carta, she's just been a blessing since day one that I've met her, and she's helped me along the road since. And I'm just really grateful to be playing in Birmingham, and I'm hoping to see everybody out there too, but I'm really excited.
All right, we'll go to Max.
Just for Coach Murphy and Montana, if you would like to chip in, please do. What could you say about Montana's preparation coming up, leading towards this season, having already established herself as the top pitcher in the country?
Well, every year is different, and last year's last year. And this young lady, she wants to play in the World Series. She's never done that. And obviously the freshmen want that experience too. So what's done is done, and now we got to go out and prove ourselves again and again and again. And that's the coolest part about, I think, being a college coach and a college athlete is 1 year is done and you got to start over again. And you add, those 9 new kids, and then the mix is different, the chemistry is different, and you got to figure out a way to do it again. And that's what excites us the most about it. But I think, Steph has done a great job with all the pitchers. And if you looked at Montana from day one, when she came in, and then last year against UCLA and Arizona at the World Series, it's a totally different kid. And, you know, all the credit to Montana, her dad, and Steph. Because it was she was dominant at the World Series. You know, at the end of the year, we won 20 games in a row, and 18 were against ranked teams. And that's hard to do. You know, softball is full of parity, great teams everywhere. But I think she's ready to go. I think the coolest thing about being with that USA group is, you know, when you look at a Monica and Allie Carta and some of the best pitchers in the world, they're in the best shape of their lives, like consistently. And I'm not saying that Montana isn't, but that's somewhere where we could go to get better. Nutrition, sleep, being prepared the whole time with your body, because there's aches and pains, you know. Everybody has them, regardless of position. But how you take care of yourself. Monica, I think, is maybe 36 years old, you know, and she's still one of the best pitchers in the world, if not the best. Throws 74 miles an hour consistently. I don't know how she does it, but she can learn from them. And, you know, I still think Montana could get better. You know, there's ways for her to improve, and Steph and her are working on them every single day.
All right, we can go back to Robert.
This is for Ashley. We kind of touched on it earlier, how there's a lot of, you know, young and new faces. Can you talk about how you and other veterans have tried to take a leadership role and take the freshmen under your wing?
Yeah, I think just being intentional about getting to know them off of the field just as much as we do on the field. Like Coach Murph was saying, we all kind of meshed really well from the start. And it's been super cool, but just taking the time to actually sit down with them and like know what their dad does. Like we talked about this at the beginning of the year, like know the little things about their lives, where they're from, like what they like to eat, just little things that like truly know, like let them know that we're invested in them beyond just softball and care about them as humans.
And I think one of the greatest byproducts of adding Ashley and Allie, they've had 3 years of Power 5 experience, and you know, they're helping Montana and Kaylee Tao with the leadership, even though they're new. They've been through the Big Ten, and obviously Allie was at Tennessee in the SEC, so they've seen it, they've done it. They played in a lot of big games. That part of it has been probably the biggest bonus for having these two here, Allie and Ashley.
All right, and Matt, we'll give Max the last question here.
Just Coach Murphy, I know you kind of touched on it already, but if you could just go around the horn position by position and just discuss what you have on your team this year.
Okay. So catcher, we have Abby Dorr, who's a junior from Eugene, Oregon, and Allie Shipman and KJ Haney, who's a sophomore. So depth at every position. I think the greatest thing I think about this team is, like Ashley here, she can play all 4 infield positions. If we needed her to catch, she probably would. She's done it before. First base, we have Kaylee Tao, a 3-time All-American, coming back. And then you could probably add 3 or 4 young ladies over there. Abby, Allie, Ashley, Aubrey Barnhart, a freshman from Tennessee. She catches as well. She goes first, third catcher. Second base, we have a bunch of new people. We have Ashley. We have Savannah Woodard coming back. She's an option. Bailey Dowling, she's back. We haven't talked about her yet, but you know, she had knee surgery, March or April, and is 100%, doing really well, crushing the ball. I think she's going to be one of the best hitters we've ever had here. And just, you know, Montana and Ashley will tell you, when she gets the barrel, it goes a long ways, and she's been doing great. Shortstop, we have Callie Hevlin, a freshman, Bailey Dowling, shortstop. Ashley played shortstop. Lots of options again. Third base, Ashley, Megan Bloodworth, freshman from Georgia. She's also second base possibility, shortstop. Aubrey Barnhart, Abby Dorr again. So, you know, I always say when you do the lineup, it's like a 9-piece puzzle, and you got to figure out where the puzzle pieces fit the best. And if you play third and I play first and third, and we're one of the best 9 hitters, you're playing third and I'm playing first, because that's where the puzzle pieces fit the best. And then outfield, right now there's 6 kids. So returnee, probably the one with the most experience is Jenna Johnson, who played a little bit of center field her freshman year and then played a lot of left last year. Dallas Goodnight, a freshman from Georgia. Jordan Stevens, a freshman from Tampa. Savannah Woodward, could be in the outfield as well. Again, great athlete. Kat Grill, returnee. She's improved a lot. She played in a summer league down in Florida, and I think it really, really helped her. She got a lot of good at-bats. She's much improved. I think everybody up here would agree with me. So we just got a lot of really good athletes everywhere. And, that's, again, it's exciting to me to see every game could be a different lineup with different people in different spots. And, our 8 games in the fall, we never had the same lineup. I think I had 6 different leadoffs. And because we wanted to see what they could do. That's what fall ball's for. But it's just a very, very athletic group.